the US has always been the king when it comes to education, boasting over 4,000 universities, boasting billions of dollars in academic research and funding. Obviously, the whole American dream is that nobody can become a somebody in America.
Hello everyone, it's the Japa Chronicles. We're back again.
Where did you go before?
We're back again now.
Did you do summer break?
No, but it's 1 week since they saw our face now. Do you understand?
It's actually
we're
been
back
2 weeks.
again.
Okay.
No, it's been 1 week now.
This is our first episode in the new calendar year now. So
but we dropped an episode last week.
stop the shalaye for like Nigerian politician.
What do you mean?
Hi
actually?
guys.
Why are you stealing my intro? Anyways, King of Japa, you said I should be hyping you. I want to hype you now.
Oh God, there's no money. I didn't say you should hype me.
Which
I
one?
have
There's
a
no
way
money.
achieving
See
for all
the
that.
expensive cap you're wearing, gold plated. All this lifestyle, fake
Okay,
life.
hype me. No be all this one what you do.
Okay, gamer. Okay, no gamer. On the bench.
And we have on the show today one and only, nobody but the Dern, period, the king of Japa.
Why am I hearing period and king of Japa together?
Like, period, like
Use
only
that
one and
latest
only
skills
one.
where they go around now. Looking words.
What's
The
that?
Mora, very courtesy.
This is Demio. This is Demio. This is Demio. I can't call you Jay-Z.
Send me your account
again.
number.
I can't call you Jay-Z.
Now,
again.
what
You
time
just
you
said there's no
account
money. You
number?
say send me your account number.
Are you a woman?
This life. Anyhow, real quick, how have you been, King of Japa?
I'm tired.
Of what?
Of what?
Everything. I'm tired of everything. Tired of the flights.
The rich man problems now. Jet lag.
I'm tired of.
Steady jet
I'm
lag.
tired of night. I'm tired of a lot of things. I'm tired of. So, I realized today that even Okada, there's no 100 naira Okada again.
Oh, there's nothing that is 100 naira in this country again.
There's
No.
nothing of.
It's not today now.
So there's nothing
100.
100 naira.
It's 300. There's
No,
no
so-
200.
it's like I
on my
say
side.
sometimes when I don't busy like that, I dey lose small touch of reality.
I said, I went to buy gas, so my change was 15 naira. I can't give the guy 15 naira. The guy can't say, okay, wait, I just want to do. I can't say buy sweet. He said 15 naira sweet, no day again.
So, in one word, I'm tired. But it's an exciting time. It's the new calendar year for our kind of business. My family-wise, my daughter does, resume school. Like, it's tiring. I think that's why I'm tired, because this morning she wake me up, say, you
Time for
must
school.
bath me,
But how do you feel like as a father now? As a father of a student, how does it feel?
expensive.
School fees
His
and all
pocket,
this.
his pocket is feeling it.
And last week when she started school, I traveled, so I was happy because if I was taking her to school last week, she no go to school. Because I don't go feel and cry.
Oh,
So-
she cried when on the
she no go
first day.
cry.
Separation now.
Then
What's
there
that?
can't be holiday in between. So you can't be like this, she don't forget for like 3 days she dey go school. So
Oh,
this
she
week,
go
again,
receive.
as she entered the estate today like this, I don't see my daughter, she don't drop cartoon. She don't dey look. I say, you go school.
But she gets it.
But yeah, I mean, how are you? What's going on?
It's been crazy, man. But they won't finish me, but God day, sure.
But you
Good
guys
day.
said there's 2 4 hours lights over there.
Now there's no money to pay the light.
There's
Wow,
no-
Mrs. Shimi, wow.
I mean, I was never crying for before they were giving me like 18 hours and I was fine with it and I was paying.
15 hours is okay for me.
It's-
What am I doing with 18 hours, 24?
Now 24 hours and it's ridiculous, man. But God day, sure. I think that's the reason.
So now you guys have asked, how have you been? How have you been? Oh yeah, what's happening in immigration space, please? Let's
No.
move. Let's
Where
move.
you rushing us
Our
now?
hearts have to be with the people in Borno.
Yeah,
because
people in Bono, man. Like, you don't just rush
You
into that. Things are happening in the country now.
Although I counted today that they've raised like 5 or 6 billion for them, hopefully to touch the citizens.
That's my problem. Let the money go to the market.
The rice and the things, the food stuff from the UAE and all the donations.
Yeah, United Nations and all that. So,
UN six
yeah.
is it $6 billion?
$6 billion, yeah.
So aside from the 6 billion they raises the naira here, our hearts are with them. It's a funny thing that always seems to happen. Of course, we just left the wahala of fuel scarcity and then the refinery.
But can I quickly ask a question? I'm so
Nigeria-
sorry.
Nigeria
People
will
that are
better.
timing us, don't be angry. But like, wasn't it forecasted, like, the whole flood thing? Because it happens.
I read on the news that Cameroon are going to open their dam. Oh.
So
Again.
there's even more that's coming.
So
Bro.
I think I've learned with our parents' generation to not deal with forecast or deal with emotions. They don't care. I drove past the Lekki toll gate, a couple of nights ago, and obviously you felt a bit of emotion. My wife was talking about how don't these people have children of their own, all that. For a second I wanted to be emotional, like, madam, just leave this thing. Like, we're Christians, we've read it, there's nothing new under the sun. That is sort of the state of our nation. But we will fight for our nation, right? We'll fight. Seeing that flood was something. And then you see the eagerness of the VP to go to that place, and the president. We will not talk about it because
and the person that went to pay condolence.
Let's leave it. Let's leave the. Is it the Cadillac? What car did they get for him, and all the expenses? And I'm talking to you guys now that you can't even get a 100 naira bike.
I mean, these guys, they're out of touch with reality.
Talking about the fair price.
So let's talk about let's really just dive into what we can use to help our people. Let's not be like we're all gloomy today, because I wanted to bring Sweden. I wanted to bring a Swedish flag. All roads lead to Sweden.
No, but I think that let's just give them backstory. So Sweden has announced that they're going to be paying.
Oh no! Let's not say it that way. Sweden has always had a law that they would give migrants money to go back. That's like the summer.
And only one person took advantage.
Only one person took advantage in the last year. They now said, okay, it's because the money was small and nobody has touched it. So let's revisit
how much
it.
Was before?
They said this new one is 35% more.
Oh, that's crazy. Bro.
So obviously, let's assume it was what?
15K there about
10K before,
yeah.
Something like whatever whether you're using euro or you're using dollars, but now it's $34,000, right? So yeah,
that's how much in naira.
That's like 50 something million.
But
so
if
guys,
I go to Sweden today,
if you want to go
will
to
I
Sweden,
qualify?
No. If you want to go to Sweden to
you don't qualify
you don't.
anymore.
If you go to Sweden today and you go to school and you're done with school and you stay back, then you qualify. So send the DM to Lewe_Edu or Jacka Partners.
But then I actually cash out if
that's the story, man.
Because you might not spend up to the 50 million to go and
it's
application for Sweden just started. So either you want to go through the scholarship route or the normal you get BAM route. Because effectively it's a lovely thing for us, because it's like, when I saw it, I considered doing my master. I think I talked about it on the group, right? Because I considered that, because if I invest, because they're basically telling that a guy, if you invest 30K in 2 years, you get your 30K back.
Your 30,
and I'll get my 30K back with my knowledge.
Yeah.
All roads leads to the Swedish. When we were much younger, we used to play. You know how I used to live with this lovely family. We used to play game and we used to just hear about ourselves. So one summer school, we went home. That time, Sepp Blatter was still the president of FIFA, and so we were talking about countries and stuff, and so I was going to say that Sepp Blatter is Swiss, so I then said Sepp Blatter is Swedish. You get so it was like that one. I hated. No. So every time just to tell you how bad it is, every time I remember Sweden, like I'm so conscious of it.
But wait.
So shout out to my
where
brothers
they come
and
from
my
Switzerland.
They're Swiss.
They're Swiss, not
So
Switzerland.
Swiss.
I even knew it because I'm brilliant. But like, when you're talking so fast, so I picked Swedish that day. It was a terrible day for me. Terrible 2
from
days.
Switzerland are both Swiss.
No, Sweden
is Swedish. Huh?
Switzerland is Swiss.
Boy. What school did you go to again? What school did you go to again?
Should we bring what
What
you
uni
said
did you go to?
All
before
right,
the
so
podcast started?
Yeah,
so
go
if you
to-
guys are
let's
interested in
leave
going to
that.
Sweden, I think it's always been a beautiful place. I've never been, but I've always had lovely, information.
I think it's a very peaceful and serene environment.
Is it Switzerland that you've always said you wanted to visit? Okay, Singapore.
No, it's
But
Singapore.
let me just ask you, like, I mean, if you looking at the current state in Nigeria today, if you were an immigrant there, would you actually take that money and come back here?
That's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I'll come back.
50 million, no.
I'll come back.
And then when there's a kidnapping somewhere, they say
There are 50 million don't go
50
now.
million don't
So-
go. It won't ransom.
So I not to yab you guys, because I was reading one news about how to throw jabs with some level of diligence.
Yeah.
In simple terms, because I understand immigration. If I do my master's in Switzerland or in Sweden or any of those countries that want to give me money, I go down do my PR to Canada. So I go come Nigeria first just to say hello. Now connecting flight.
So you collect 34,000 and go and spend it in Canada.
I know the.
I will cast you.
Now the kaku.
I will cast you.
It's not against the law now.
Well, true, sure. You have a point.
But I don't have an interest there. I don't have an interest to go to Sweden, right?
But yeah, in other news, let's move to our neighbors in the UK. The people in
Balogun
the
market.
They've increased,
UK
allegedly,
UK needs to show me love.
they've allegedly increased their proof of funds to £1,483
Long time coming, man.
in London.
Long time
and outside London, 1,136 per month. You have to show this
Long time coming.
for people outside London, and that's actually
People don't understand inflation and think it's just in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
our government is
everywhere.
bad, but inflation is everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's everywhere right now.
It's long time coming now. You talk about we talked about capping season, and I continue to reiterate that everybody needs to understand that UK, Australia, and Canada are basically the same. They just look like
Different.
3 different shades, right?
Yeah,
You know, it's like white, grey, and I don't know what that color is similar.
Silver.
Silver. Ah, you're so brilliant.
off white.
So once one of them does something,
The other one is replicating.
Australia is the worst.
yesterday now the
I think
immigration-
Australia is like the leader safe
no.
In
Yeah,
capping,
follow.
in capping.
No,
No, Australia is.
they are not.
Australia will tell you, I don't want you to come.
Who won't go that side? Who wants to be traveling for a day?
No,
Let's start.
No, you said they
because
want
of
that.
the way
Let's
the
not-
economy is now, everybody
Everybody wants to go anywhere now.
anywhere.
Was it not-
And I mean, I don't see it there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I mean, obviously, God has helped me, but I don't see what people say in all these countries.
So let me
The only thing that interests me about Australia is Australian Open.
no. But if you like animals, it's a very good place
if
to
the
go. now.
Ashes is
I
going to
think
happen in
Australia.
Australia, like
But
cricket.
their PR is something like Canada too.
Yeah,
I don't need PR.
you
love my country.
You love your.
I don't need PR.
Yeah, I get. Patriotic citizen.
Oh, I
guess.
envy your patriotism. I can't even lie. With everything that's going on in this country, if you get
So you know, with all the way US has been bouncing people,
It's not
I
good.
realized that if I won't go back, go do US interview, I go just tell them, say, why are you going to the US? I want to go and watch the LA Dodgers played Boston. I'm telling you,
sorry, let me give
these
Yeah.
guys only relate to people
Yeah.
that
you.
think.
Sorry, let me give you fun fact. So the event I went for yesterday, that's what the consular said. Like they don't want my plan is to develop my
Stereotypical-
state. Blah, blah. No, if you're going to see your mom, say you want to see your mom. If you want to go and watch a basketball game, like they want answers like that. So not practice
I'm telling you.
answers. So it's actually no. It's actually no.
So far so good. Sometimes you are overthinking
Yeah.
these things. It's the same thing. So UK, Canada, Australia. Yes, the Canada will trade, and the Canadian immigration minister announced his own capping. Australia announced a couple of days ago. Like they all follow themselves now. So my point is, the moment Canada increased their living expense, what did we think was going to happen with?
Yeah, the UK
Everybody's
was
gonna-
it was inevitable.
Because it's the economy is changing, and don't forget everybody's paying tax. Taxes are crazy tax bills that have to
Yeah.
go to the royal what do you call them, the crown, and then obviously in those places they don't expect you to go to the hospital and pay. Do you know,
Yeah.
like with the insurance,
Yeah.
everything you do in the hospital is paid for. So yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Next up is like you mentioned, Australia. They announced a capping season. So as
They have been capping.
this one from
You guys-
2025.
But think
they only
about it now. You
accept-
guys have been going to those places for too long. I think it's because our generation is just catching up to it. Think about it. This guy called Israel Adesanya that does UFC. He moved to New Zealand many years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe I think over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So think about how long people have been immigrating. I have people who have immigrated to Canada now over 20 years as well.
Fact, because when I was a child, like
Yeah.
church members, like
If
you stop seeing
yeah,
families.
if you-
You get they're going America, this thing, but
So
like it
we
wasn't
have
a
for
buzz.
so long. Yeah, we have for so long been in this place.
Yeah.
What do you expect to happen? That's why I said that we always think that
But I
these
thought
guys are
that
in need
after
for-
the death toll with the COVID and all, they will open doors for more people to
many
come.
people died. COVID didn't even kill. COVID didn't even kill worldwide
killed
what the
people
flu
now.
kills in 1 year.
No, but it was killing in like Italy. Oh, that the president.
They
prime minister
don't
was
reach
crying.
5,000. How many people died? Okay, let's fact check. Google how many people died in Italy.
I mean,
And
I'm going
Italy
to
had priests giving their lives up for younger people and all that. I remember that story. I'm pretty sure 10,000 people did not die in
No,
Italy.
it should have been that bad though. For their prime minister to come and
For
cry.
US, Inko.
There was even a high
when you're,
Well,
when
just
you're
check. Let me
collecting
even check
hundreds
here.
of bodies, it always seems that way. So anyway, Australia has capped what? 270,000.
70,000
1,996.
Which country?
in Italy.
Yes.
Are you sure? Why the guy can't cry?
Okay.
I mean, it's still human lives at the end of the day. God forgive
Okay,
me. Sorry for
so-
saying that.
Canada.
Our best friends.
Yesterday.
Bro, so
Yesterday.
they made a couple of announcements. I just highlighted 6 the key ones because like it was a lot of announcements. So the first one, as part of the changes to the Postgraduate Work Permit program, all applicants will be required to demonstrate a minimum language proficiency in French or English. So they have like their own like IELTS
Testing system.
that everybody's required to write. So I was asking her earlier, like,
I don't think they're required to write it. You're required to prove.
To pass it.
It's like your CLB. You need to have a band. So
Yeah,
basically, if you
I
go
think,
through
yeah.
the program, you automatically would have.
are you serious?
Yeah, it's IELTS that everybody writes. You don't have to go and write something called the CLB. It's just the grading system.
So how do you get the grade?
So
Because
if you
they
go
said-
through the university or the
You
college,
automatically have
automatically
it.
you would have a particular grade that you're judged on.
Oh.
So when
So you're not
going-
like writing-
So when you're going to school now, for instance, for undergrad, they would ask you to provide your WAEC, which is what is respected in West Africa, right? And then they usually prefer you have like I think C4 minimum or something like that. Some schools even say B2 or
Yeah.
B3. Yeah, that's your grade now. So they grade you based on what you scored.
So if my English is
When you're an
lower.
Igbo babe, don't worry, you have to write IELTS.
No, wait.
Oh, okay.
What?
Wait, what does that mean?
What
No,
was
you have to trace that back.
Oh, okay, please let's move.
One of the best English speakers I know is Igbo now. Chimamanda Adichie.
Let's move.
But yeah, let's move on. Also, a further reduction in the intake. So they've reduced their own cap of international study. So there's a 10% reduction from this year.
Yeah,
So next year,
They overshot the budget.
yeah. So but they said by 2026 there'll be a balance and like everything will come back to normal.
Yeah.
So that's actually crazy because, and you know, let me know like of late, I've been hearing about a lot of denials in Canada, and it's actually scary because when you now look at it, and it shows how resilient Nigerians are because this number affects the whole world. So like if any country you're from, the order one is 485k people must come this year. And let's say, so for
465.
it's 485,000 here. And so one of the ladies who was, again, I'm going to reference the event I went for yesterday. One of the ladies was speaking of this, she said on an average, 5 million people thereabouts apply for student visas
Possible.
worldwide. And look at this number. They're only going to take like, she said even schools, there are certain schools that are like, she said a particular school, I think, I can't remember the school, 50,000 people applied and only 10 people were selected. 50,000. So it's actually very crazy that,
That's a
see,
crazy number.
you should be happy that you get a study permit because if you actually look at the numbers here, 45,000 people out of 5 million applicants.
So let me just for our audience, the CLB is Canadian Language Benchmark, right? So like I said,
Yeah.
it's not a test, right? It's a level, right?
Yeah.
So 485 was the benchmark that was set. It actually dropped to 437. So like for 2025, the study permits that they are targeting is now 437.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, but it's not a ridiculous
It's not
reduction.
a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
It just seems that way because everybody wants to go.
Go.
And obviously, if 10,000 people apply in Nigeria, for instance, maybe 100 qualify. So if only 50 people get it, so even some of the people that qualify, just by not putting your stuff together right or things like that, can still bounce you.
Okay, so they also said that graduates from programs at public colleges will remain eligible for the postgraduate work permit.
This is a curveball. Who knows what a curveball is?
What's that?
So like if you're throwing a ball, the ball usually you intend for it to go straight and fast. A curveball confuses you because it then takes a curve. So they're not really doing that in the long run. It's going to change because what they're saying is that you qualify if you meet one of the jobs that have been in demand for a period.
Yeah.
So if you hear this news halfway and just think that, oh, they still allow for 3 years, and your job and your course
does not meet.
doesn't fall under the requirement of their need, you won't get that 3 years.
Yeah, so I guess like maybe the list of jobs will be on their website or something.
Yes. So it's always very, and this is exactly why I tell people this is the reason to have conversations with an immigration expert, or in our case an admissions counselor or visa specialist. These people are able to guide you. Obviously, when it comes to we've talked about now UK, Australia, Canada, and now even Sweden. I would always say, send us a DM, or give us a call, Elite Education or Jackpot Partners, because January 2025 is open for UK and Canada and US, and then obviously May and summer intakes for all countries are already open. So like I said, this is the beginning of our own calendar year, where you've now cleared house. All your August, September people have gone. Just maybe a few October people will be trying to go now, and then you can really focus on planning first. Obviously, it's also why we have this event October 1st, and obviously we would also announce, our own study abroad fair. So
yeah. Also, they will be limiting work permit eligibility later this year to spouses of master's degree students, to only those whose program is at least 16 months in duration.
Yeah. So again, another curveball, because a couple of years ago, particularly before COVID and then after COVID, Canada has this law that really is focused on uniting families, and they are not really. It's not like they are now all of a sudden now anti-family. They just do not want the abuse anymore, because if Chinwe was going to do her masters now, normally, even if you're going for a 1 year course, you could go. Now they feel the need to say that, look, you have to be going for at least 1.5 years, minimum 2 years, for that need to be. So they probably believe that, if you go for a 1 year course, you probably have 3 breaks. So maybe travel home to go to your family and all that. So if your intent is to be a temporary resident, stick to that intention. And that's really what they're basically defining. Again, when this news hits the road, people begin to see it and assume that they are doing it to target it at Africans. And trust me, I keep telling you, you're not even their top 5 problem. You're not India, China, and all these other countries that are going in droves. So exactly, that's we don't back up our conversations with data. We are very much a follow the crowd country, and obviously with elections again this weekend in Edo State, it's the big problem that we always have in our country. We just follow. So we either follow the money, or we follow somebody who we see on the road without even verifying that the person has what it takes or has the knowledge. And that's really the big problem we have.
Yeah. So I think that should be that for all that. And then before this announcement yesterday, they announced that there will be a ban on conversion for visiting visa to work visa.
The LMIA thing.
Yeah.
Another very interesting is I started during COVID, where people would go into Canada with visiting visas and then convert, because obviously they also had this, they had the labor shortage in some areas. All this is just them responding to what is going on. Canada is not saying now that, we don't want you to come get jobs here, but the whole summary of immigration is first that me that wants to go, I meet the requirements of where I want to go. And when a country then opens house, I'm trying to remember the name of the country that is looking for guys for their girls now. There's a country a couple of weeks ago that's going to pay. I think it's a European country.
It's one of these Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, and they're looking for people to come.
Norway.
No, they're looking for people to come help fertilize eggs. Obviously.
Not farming. Agriculture.
Alpha producer, are you married? I am. All money, Norway.
If you said you go Norway.
No, we. But before a country puts out a policy, right, the expectation is you understand that it's a need. But in our part of the world, we just see it as, I want to go. So for instance, it applies to life. So Okpe is young and single, right? If Okpe wants to start dating her, she should have a requirement of the kind of quote unquote man that that deserves her.
She should.
But obviously, if Okpe walks around and 50 guys are here, everybody's looking at her. They don't even care to see do I meet the requirement of the person? Rather, we are very authoritative on, I must get this.
Person.
So I must japa, I must do this. And we must understand that that's not how it's supposed to be.
Let's
Like,
look for something that fits.
yes, you've got to look for something that fits. And there are a lot of countries that fit. A lot of countries have needs. I just said now, there are countries looking for young guys who are, can come take care of their daughters. Right? Why rush to Canada? And we're helping these guys cash out, right?
Fuck.
It's a lot of money right now. Spending 300k, 400k on visa fees, and if you say 50,000 people got denied for one school, just do that math.
Bro, because everybody is paying at least $150 for
Obviously-
application fee.
Obviously, on the policy side, our National Assembly is not doing well for us because, if you ask me, I think our National Assembly needs to do better when it comes to communicating with foreign agencies and putting things in place that allows for these symbiotic relationships. I remember that I was with the Trade Commissioner of Canada, and he was talking about encouraging our governments to sign the bilateral agreement. So, like, we have a bilateral agreement with Canada that has not been completed. And I remember that the former VP went there a couple of times, and so these are the things that affect your country. You don't have that problem with the UK. Guess it now. Like, think about it. Like, in our organization now, we never get denied. Like, when it comes to the UK, you don't have issue with study visas because it's a pretty straightforward process, for them. So yeah.
Interesting. But on a lighter note, for French-speaking individuals, Canada has announced efforts to enhance francophone communities by welcoming French-speaking international students and immigrants. So
Can't apply to Nigeria again. Not to yab our French people, right? I'm sorry, but for some funny reason, all the people that I know that learn French or lived in Badagry and speak it well, they speak the French well, but the other things that are required, they leave a lot.
yeah, so
to
but
desire.
like they have their own testing, this B2B something.
So imagine that you can just like you can speak English, but you don't have sense.
Okay, I get. So you cannot comprehend properly. Yeah, I understand.
It's a language.
Yeah.
And that's, you must understand the requirements. So a lot of people can speak English, don't have sense. A lot of people don't have sense and still cannot speak English.
We see it on Twitter every day. Exactly. So that's
So-
and Nigeria has been shouting why we writing IELTS. It's
So
not
there was,
the
a
same
time, there was a time we were trying to run a campaign for French in our organization, like, oh, let's get a lot of French speaking people. And I'm realizing that they can speak the French, but we even have some people in our office that schooled in. Nah, let me not go there.
Friend village.
No, let's not go there.
Yeah. So what's happening in Nigeria? Let's just
We talked about it.
we haven't spoken about Dangote and the NNPP
No, that's-
NNPC
So
situation.
no concern.
Or as it relates to Jaqua, is obviously our oil doesn't really need to Jaqua again now. Like if that's what we're going to talk
But
about,
I see you buying this in foreign currency.
no, why not?
No, not we. NNPC is
No,
buying it.
it's in naira. So like basically the news here is that Nigeria's crude doesn't need to Jaqua again. That's the story. We have the biggest refinery in Africa now. I think
Is it the biggest in Africa?
650,000 something.
BPM. That's crazy.
Even
That's massive.
maybe one or two in the US are bigger than that. He really did well at that, but yeah.
Interesting. So we have a new segment called the Country of Focus. So today's on. We've spoken about Canada at length, but let's just briefly,
What are we focusing on?
So our country of focus today would be the US. Part of the Big Four, if not the king of the Big Four. So King of Jaqua. You have knowledge about it. I don't know if you've been there.
Never been. I tried to. They bounced me. So, but yeah, so what's happening with the US? Let me just give a summary in a minute. Before now, we've struggled in Africa with getting dates with the US. Particularly if you look back now 6, 7, 8 years with Trump, the end of Obama into Trump and then into Biden, where it was difficult to get dates just generally in Africa. Then of course issues. We've had a couple of diplomats come out from the US to talk about how agents have become a syndicate and things like that. So they really worked on it over the last 2-3 years, and they have launched a new system.
Yeah.
If you need help, you can reach out to a reputable immigration service, Jaqua Partners, and we can help you. And so now you don't need anybody's help paying for a date. Like, you don't have to pay that ridiculous 600, 1 million that people had to pay for a date. You could just visit their website and follow the process. And before, you would pay on the GT Bank app or in their bank branch, and then take your details to that portal. But now they just put everything in one space. Everything regularizes, either via bank transfer or a credit card. The US has always been the king when it comes to education, boasting over 4,000 universities, boasting billions of dollars in academic research and funding. Obviously, the whole American dream is that a nobody can become a somebody in America. And so I would always say now, as September has just, we are really coming to the end of September, and schools are resuming, but we are beginning the calendar for 2025. This is the time to begin to talk about going to the US next year summer for admissions, particularly if you're looking at funding opportunities, if you are an undergrad, prospect who is finishing high school now. You're likely going to have to write the ACT or SAT, get a good 1.314 plus to be able to get funding. And if you're a first degree holder here with some experience, you likely probably will have to write the GRE and GMAT for some of these schools, or apply for an assistantship to get funded. Another twist would then be that there's an election coming, and if the Democrats stay in power, we will not have too much of a problem. But on a final note, if Trump wins that election, we probably are going to be set back again.
Yeah. All right, so you guys have heard it from the king of Japa.
Now is the time to go to the US.
So yeah, this is the time to go to the US. There are a lot of, like you heard it, scholarships and funding, especially for research. Yeah. So you can reach out to us at Japa Partners while your show plugs for this. Thank you for listening to this interesting episode. King of Japa, thank you for your insights. And our beautiful ladies, even if their face you can't see it, but I assure you they're beautiful. Okwe and Chinwe, Momzi, thank you for joining us again today. I remain your humble host. I'll see you guys next week. Love and
Big
light.
head right
Bye,
there.
everybody.